Welcome to the Fed to Fed podcast, where we dive into the dynamic world of government technology. In this podcast series, we'll be joined by current and former federal leaders and industry trailblazers who are at the forefront of innovation. Here, we speak openly and honestly about the challenges and opportunities facing the federal government and the Department of Defense and its partners in the modern age, driving innovation and the incredible capabilities of technology along the way. Whether you're a federal leader, a tech industry professional, or simply fascinated by IT modernization, just like us, this podcast is for you. And we're so happy to have you tuning in. Today, we're welcoming Zach, Badri, and Judwin. Zach is the Chief Information and Technology Officer at Events DC and is the former Chief Information Officer for the U.S. Department of Commerce. He served in various roles at Commerce, including Senior Advisor in the Office of the Secretary and Chief of Staff to the CFO and Assistant Secretary of Administration. In addition, he served in various roles within the U.S. Census Bureau, the most recent as Division Chief for the IT Service Management Office. Badri is the Senior Vice President at Karsun Innovation Center. The center includes the team behind Redux, Karsun's AI-powered modernization platform. In addition to AI, the center ideates, prototypes, and develops solutions to difficult modernization challenges using the latest technologies. And Judwin. Judwin is the lead cloud architect for Redux. Jude is also a key contributor to GoRedux.ai at Karsun Solutions. He plays a key role in driving modernization initiatives for customers, including the development of AI-powered platforms that transform legacy systems into secure, cloud-native solutions. Welcome. Badri, Jude, and Zach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity.
Well, why don't we go ahead and jump right in and get started? Zach, I'd love to start with you. Can you tell us about where there is a need for modernization?
Yeah, coming from multiple, government entities, as well as now kind of in that state and local travel and tourism space, the need for modernization from a business standpoint is all over. And we are seeing it, particularly in the IT space, in the ability to do things faster and more robust and bigger and better than our competition, really. And in ways from a business standpoint, allows the public to engage. And when it comes to IT, the expectation of our business is what they see and read on TV, what they see out there on the news about all this AI work. And we want to be able to show that we as an organization are able to compete in that space and be able to use the latest and greatest in technology. And when it comes to it, it's just speed to get things done. There is less and less of an acceptance by the business to take take months to do development work, take months to push out new development, months to do new features. It's an expectation that we can do that faster and more accurately. And that's really where the need to modernize is coming from. It's coming from our business units.
That's fantastic, Zach. Thank you for sharing. So, Jude, what's Redux? And how is that solution going to help modernize government organizations?
Yeah, like to Zach's point, that need for the efficiency and agility is exactly what drove us to build Redux. It's not just about modernizing, it is about rethinking how modernization happens. At Karsun, we saw an opportunity to move beyond manual assessments and slow transformations. So we built Redux as an AI-first platform that can both analyze and act. At its core, Redux does two things. We start with the blueprint that rapidly assesses legacy domains, uncovers user behaviors, business rules, data flows, and the system architecture. Then we mobilize modernization agents to drive transformation, enabling engineering teams to generate purpose-fit production-ready code. It is fast, secure, it's continuously learning, built to scale across complex enterprise environments. With this approach, we typically see 2 times reduced effort, 2 times improved quality, and 4 times reduced time to implementation.
That's fantastic, Jude. So This is a very exciting time for AI, and there's so many opportunities to address technology challenges with AI. What are the pitfalls of overhyped AI solutions? Zach?
Yeah, when it comes to overhyped AI solutions, we see a lack of actual support. As a someone who does the implementations, for our business, we see when there is tools or teams or organizations that come to us and have got the best AI in the world. They come to us, and you know what? It falls flat on their face when we actually push business requirements, business goals, and then we come to them for support when things don't work and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to fix it. This overhype, especially with the product teams and others, has been a real issue. So it's kind of been a breath of fresh air to find an organization, let alone, a tool that actually can stand on its own, that can be used in production in an environment and deliver, expectations. It is rare. And, everyone claims that all these new tools are using AI and doing the right thing. But, as a user of this, we've seen that it's not the case, and that they can claim it as much as they can, but there is a lot of overhype to the actual ability for some of these products to deliver on their AI promise.
That's great, Zach. So, Badri, can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, actually, in fact, we think very deeply about that problem with trust in AI, particularly when it is based on large language models. Hallucinations are a normal problem. I mean, it's the part of the technology. But the reality is, if you really look at it, the technology has never been perfectly reliable or secure. Any technology on IT in particular, right? Over time, we've learned to build trustworthy systems on basically untrustworthy parts. And if there's a foundation paper from 80s by Dobson and Randall that laid this out. And the key is combining fault prevention and fault tolerance at the foundational level. No, we built the entire internet this way, right? It's so many unreliable components in it, but we get information across every time and accurately because there are fault tolerance and fault prevention built into how the system is handling communication. At Redux, we apply the same mindset to AI. We have designed tools and processes that don't assume AI is perfect. Instead, we assume it will make mistakes, that we build systems around it to detect, correct, and learn from them. First, one of the things that we put in place is to empower our domain experts to be the human in the loop, right? Uh, the domain experts are not data scientists. They are users who understands the mission, right? We help them curate a knowledge graph from real world usage and code behavior. This makes the AI contextual, so it knows what's true for that legacy or the system, for that agency as well, not just what sounds statistically right. Now that's important. And when mistakes slips through and SME identifies them, we enable the SME to trigger automated reprocessing at scale based on the feedback. So the blueprint agent we spoke about actually gets smarter and more reliable over time. The other thing is we also introduced formal methods to specify automated ways of describing what software should and shouldn't do, right? Let us spot the dead code, legacy clutter, implementation flaws, and then remove them, prevent them from going over into the next system that you're going to build. So instead of AI hallucinating answers, we give it a map of what actually matters in the system. End of the day, Redux doesn't just use AI, it makes AI trustworthy, governable, and mission aligned, especially in environments where getting it right isn't optional. You're right. Just adopting as a tool is taking AI and turning it on into a subject matter expert is the way we make Redux work for our customers.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, Jude, can you tell me more about how you use AI to understand legacy systems?
Absolutely, right. So our Redux platform tackles one of the hardest problems of modernization, which is basically understanding the legacy system. These systems have evolved over decades, and the institutional knowledge around them is often scattered or, in certain cases, completely gone. You can't modernize what you don't understand. And that's where we use AI in a very targeted multimodal fashion. Redux begins by building a knowledge graph, a kind of living blueprint of the legacy system. We bring together multiple inputs like source code, documentation, schema information, or ultimately demonstrations of the system itself. anything that can help illuminate how the system works. This data feeds into our AI engine, which constructs a meta model that maps out user behaviors, data flows, and business rules. Then we go a step deeper where we use large language models, extract the logic embedded across the system, things like APIs, batch jobs, user flows, complex calculations, and convert them all into human readable summaries, all backed by citations, which can be viewed by what we call lenses. So these lenses allow teams to view different aspects of the legacy system. For example, a behavior lens may show that what business rules were triggered during a particular demonstration, while a east-west lens might show you how the data changed over time for a given aggregate, for example. Teams don't just see what the AI found, they see how and where it was derived. And finally, in Redux, we generate specifications of behavior using given when then style scenarios, in short, called GWITs, essentially capturing how the system is expected to behave under different conditions. These GWITs guide our modernization agents in generating new software capabilities that accurately preserve required functionality from the legacy system. They also support automatable testing and help ensure functional equivalence between the old and the new wherever required. And all of this applies where the system might be a white box system with full access to source code, all the database schemas and everything, or a black box system like COTS or low code platforms, one where probably we can get demonstrations and some configuration. Even in this black box scenario, Redux can still leverage whatever inputs we get and generate them into actionable given when thens and specifications without ever needing to look under the hood. And that is how we use AI to understand legacy systems.
That's fantastic. So, Zach, there's still common pitfalls, right, around AI. How can you be sure AI agents generate correct solutions?
This has been a big concern of ours in particular, has been the lack of human in the loop at times. And so we have been very focused on making sure that the people and products that we're using and engaging with AI have what we call a stop point. And we say, okay, we're going to do something for a little bit of time using AI, and then we're going to stop, review it, make sure it actually meets what our needs are. There's not extra. The business requirements have been met. The ideas of what the business is trying to get across is within that. And for us, some of the tools that we've engaged and tested with kind of just push everything out all at once and it's done. And then you spend, maybe hours or days doing like intensive code reviews. And it's almost takes away the whole point of AI because it didn't really operate the way you wanted it to. There was no actual learning of the product. So for us, it's been so important that we're identifying tools and products and really just teams as well that are able to work with us and do that stop points midway to make sure that we're teaching and making sure that what is being produced out of these tools is what we're looking for, is what the business units want out of it. And that's been a pretty unique standard because, again, some product teams just think it's all about just everything's all done at once. And we really like that pause that we get with some other products.
I love that. Some people don't slow down enough or take the time to pause to make sure you get it right. And exactly. I really, really respect that approach. And I'm sure the government does as well. So Jude, can you explain or provide us with some examples?
Sure, yeah. So that what Zach mentioned, that gap between the expectation and outcome is very real, right? And that's exactly where our approach kicks in. We use active learning to close this accuracy gap. For example, when, say, a developer gives a thumbs up to a solution, our system captures that feedback, learns from it, and next time a similar problem shows up, it suggests the proven solution first. But this isn't a one-off interaction. We scale it through what we call context engineering. We build knowledge graphs that ground the AI in the real structure of the system. This way, the agents don't hallucinate. They operate within a known context, making them far more accurate and reliable, and the human is always in the loop and in control. Now, once you have that foundation, AI trained through active learning and grounded in context, you can go a step further with autonomous AI agents.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Padre?
Yeah. That makes Redux special in how we take the idea of active learning and expand it to something much bigger, using autonomous agents that powers a digital workforce. Right? Redux isn't just one smart AI assistant. It's a team of agents, each capable of working through your backlog. That means everything from product user stories to technical data tickets, or even production tickets for that matter, right? And each of those agents work on them separately. However, here's the key: they don't work in isolation, even though they operate separately. These agents learn from your feedback. They adapt to your priorities. They collaborate just like a real team because they are powered by our blueprint, which makes it really your digital SME guiding these agents along the way. Connected through live knowledge graphs, they can see your system from different angles. That means you can build precise, focused micro tools that do exactly what you need. And actually, thinkers like Simon Wadley and Tudor Gerba call it moldable development. We are making that real with AI agents that adapt to your needs, your workflows, your priorities. The result is better decisions, fewer errors, and meaningful progress without needing someone to manually steer the agents at every step of the way. Right. So, in short, Redux blends AI with human expertise to create digital teams, right? That keeps learning and keeps delivering. That's our motto.
I love it. And where is this solution being delivered now?
Well, we are supporting in actually Karsun came from doing modernization work for at large scale for federal agencies for the last 15 years. We've executed about $1 billion in modernization. The Redux emerged out of that experience. And in fact, it is currently being applied at a GSA and approved at GSA and approved at FAA, and we're using them for many, many legacy use cases, including mainframe COBOL systems and VB and desktop systems, and sometimes even black box systems that are built on low-code platforms that are opaque to customers today.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for sharing this wonderful solution with us and connecting the dots to the why it's so important and the how you all approach AI as you collaborate with your customers. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
This concludes today's episode of the Fed to Fed podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us continue bringing you thought-provoking conversations with the brightest minds in government technology. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will continue to explore opportunities to harness the power of technology and explore what's next in developing a more innovative and efficient government. Until then, this is the Fed to Fed podcast by GovTech Connects. Thank you for joining us.